What? Are you kidding me right now? This is my 2003 NB2 Miata that I picked up on the last episode. It did great on the test drive, so I bought it and tried driving it home, but it left me stranded. More specifically, after about 2 miles, the car started cutting power and eventually died a slow and painful death. And when I towed it home and tried starting it again, it ran like normal. On this episode, we'll check a few other things and see if we can get this thing to stay running, in addition to replacing this absolutely disgusting soft top. But before we do that, I'm gonna first check out the fuel filter because it could be clogged and it's a much easier thing to do. So the fuel filter is right up under there somewhere. Okay, it's right under there and it is literally brand new, like shining. Well, I was not expecting the fuel filter to be brand new. I mean, that thing looks like it was installed yesterday. And now I'm kind of having this suspicion that the seller knew about this issue and just didn't tell me. I mean, a fuel filter is a maintenance item, but look at the rest of the car. It's not been maintained and not been loved at all. And you just randomly replace a fuel filter out of nowhere. It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to removing the soft top to get to the fuel pump. You don't need to remove the soft top to get to the fuel pump, but I'm gonna replace my soft top anyway, so might as well just remove it right now to get better angles for you guys. Removing the soft top is something that is very well documented in the Miata world, so I decided not to film in too much detail, but it's really not that bad. There are several pop clips for the carpet in the back, and then a bunch of nuts and bolts to remove the soft top frame, and that's basically it. Alright, there's no way I can backlift this, so I'm gonna use my legs. I'm actually very surprised that there's not a speck of rust under here because clearly the top was leaking, and look at these little water stains. There's definitely been water in here. Still completely unsure why this car went unscathed, but I'm very glad. Don't even know how to use this tool. There we go. Just gotta do it one side at a time. Oh, there we go. All right, now is the moment of truth. What? It's like sparkly clean in there. What the heck? That's a surprise. I wasn't expecting to find that. I'm kind of happy and sad at the same time because the fuel tank is clean, but now I gotta chase other issues. I'm gonna see. I won't be able to see, but maybe you guys will see better. But what does that look like to you guys? Clean? Not clean? Rusty? And this fuel pump is also looking pretty new. I do not like where this is going. Oh boy. Well, I was not expecting a clean fuel pump or a clean fuel tank, but here we are. They're squeaky clean. So I don't really like where this is headed. But for right now, since I know the fuel tank is fine, I'm gonna clean up this area, and I made this little contraption with extensions to clean out the 2 drain holes for the sunroof or the top, soft top, and then I'll install the soft top. I pour some water in and it's kind of not getting drained, so I'm gonna use one of these drain cleaners to see if that works. There we go. Alright, so this is the new top, and I thought it was just gonna be a very simple replacement, but looking online, there are a lot of parts I need to move over from my old one to the new one. However, upon closer inspection, all of the parts like this foam weather stripping and all the rails underneath that, and then the tension cable, which is, I'm still learning where everything is, but the tension cable is also in there. So really the only thing I need to do right now is to staple this little trim piece onto the edges of the back, because for some reason this is like very brittle. It breaks off really easily like that. So he gave me like an extra strip of these things to kind of just staple around. And that's what he did too. He just stapled this. And this is important because if I don't use this, it's gonna be held on by just like a very weak fabric, and it's gonna rip eventually. So I think this is a very important piece, so I'm gonna take my time doing this. That's probably not a good idea. Alright, so I finished putting the rain rail onto the soft top. The only thing is that it's supposed to be riveted onto the soft top technically, but after reading and searching on the forums, the rivets are not really needed. They're not crucial. They were only there to make the assembly easy in the factory. So a lot of people just don't do the rivets, and as long as it's bolted onto the car correctly, then it's all good. So what I did instead is, and I saw this method online, I just used zip ties to put the rain rail onto the top, and then once I go put it on the car and bolt it, I can just cut off the zip ties. So I've thought about doing one of these adhesives, but it's just gonna get really messy, and I didn't want to buy a rivet gun and having to deal with all that. So I think since the rivets are not needed, this is the best method. The zip ties once again saves the day. Well, I'm almost there. It took me like an hour to do because this little cross member here, it was folded too far down, and it was making the glass kind of not sit back all the way. So if you look at when I tried to install it, the glass was sitting like vertically, and so it wouldn't let me fold the top all the way down. And in order to bolt down the two ends, the top needs to be completely flat. So I got the hint from one YouTube video. I'll link his video right up there. Big kudos to that guy because no one else explained that part, and because of him I was able to get this far. But now it's time to bolt in the rain rails, which is apparently even harder because this top isn't fully stretched. So it's gonna take a lot of work to bolt the rails in. So we'll see how it goes. And working in dark areas like this really sucks, and you gotta go back and forth to the outside to make sure the bolt holes line up, and it's just a big pain in the butt. But if you have a good light like this light is from Novsight, and they were kind enough to send it to me to try out. Normally I'd be fighting with a crappy flashlight in my mouth or this big wired light, but this square LED work light from Novsight has quickly become my new favorite lighting tool. At 1500 lumens and an option for a cool white, warm white, or a combination mode, it lights up the whole area like it's daytime. My favorite feature is this strong magnetic base. I can just slap it on anywhere and it stays put. It also rotates 180 degrees so I can aim it exactly where I need it. And there's even a shoe mount on the bottom if I want to use it on a tripod. It's got a huge 13,500 milliamp battery for hours of runtime, and you can even charge your device with it. It's built tough with an aluminum body, it's waterproof and drop resistant. This thing has been a total game changer whether I'm working on the Miata at night, fixing the Saab, or even camping with the family. And I just noticed that the ring around the light is glow in the dark. And I think it's because it makes it easier to put this dome on when you're camping. That is so bright. If you do a lot of nighttime wrenching, I'll drop a link in the description. Big thanks to Novsight for sending it over. Anyways, with this thing lighting everything up nicely, let's get back to bolting down the soft top. Alright, this is gonna be my first hole. That's the hole, and I need to line it up with that right there. Well, that zip tie is definitely getting in the way now, so I'm gonna cut it, but being very gentle. Yes! Holy crap. Oh no. Oh, come on. I got the rain rail, but not the top, so I gotta go again. And I gotta do this like 12 times. All right, so I got one. I gotta do the others, so. Nope, I'm an idiot. I'm supposed to bolt this on. Oh, I forgot to do that. So here we go, starting all over again. All right, now we got everything in here. And once again, this Nova light thing is awesome. You just look at this. You just magnetically attach this to the cross member, and now it's a lamp. Anyways, I got everything in there, and I still have to put in the carpet, but I'm gonna wait for that because I don't know what happened, but it just stopped turning on completely. So I gotta diagnose that further. But guys, look at this. Brand new top, looks amazing. It really changes the look of the car because it was so ratty before, and I'm really glad I got this out of the way. Really big thanks to James who gave me this top. I can't believe he just gave this away. Especially a glass top. The glass though, it doesn't have the defrost function, which is kind of a bummer, but it's a lot better than a plastic one, right? So I'm not complaining, especially for free. Well, I'm really glad I got the soft top out of the way, and I was really hoping to get this car up and running on this episode, but I don't see that happening because as of right now, this car is a crank no start situation. Before it ran and then eventually died on its own, but right now it's not starting at all. It would crank all day and just won't start. I found some resources online on what I can check and in what order, including the main relay and the fuel pump relay and a bunch of other things. But I'm gonna get started on that, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. But if you have any experience with the crank no start issue and experience some similar symptoms as what I'm going through, please let me know in the comments down below, because I am completely new to Miatas and honestly completely new to like fuel issues. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.